Good morning, Wellness Way Culture. I'm Dr. Jeremy Maxwell.
And Dr. James.
And it's not J Squared Live.
No.
We are just going to go live today. We had a wonderful special guest with us today. A young lady I've known for quite some time. So today we have with us Miss Pat. And Pat is probably one of my longest patients with me. I think she was probably one of the first patients that I worked on back in 2001. So pretty cool to see just the longevity, the loyalty that she has shown us, and she's certainly seen a lot of changes in Maxwell Family Chiropractic over almost 20 years now. So we brought her in today to just share her story and her journey. She's been a part of the Wellness Way and taking part of not just getting her spine adjusted now, but now she is, sorry, I'm hearing myself, take part in some further advancement of traumas, toxins, and thoughts. And it's been a really fun road, but tough road.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna let her just share her story. So tell us a little bit about, well, two things. I'm gonna preface this. This is why we got Dr. James and why I have an associate. So he's been with us for a year now, and it's been a real blessing having him just be a part of our team and just being able to participate in care with our patients. And so it was a funny story because obviously Pat wanted me to take care of her when she was ready to take the Wellness Way plunge. And at that time, I just really didn't have time to take on new patients in that regard, and was just wanting to continue to give the best care that I could for those that we were taking care of. So I said, listen, Dr. James is going to be managing your case, but I'm still going to be involved. And so I did get a little grief from that, but I also wanted to share this story because people still ask or request, hey, can we see Dr. Maxwell? But one thing I've assured you guys from the get-go when we first planted that seed about bringing on an associate was that they would be well-trained, they would do what we do, and you guys would still get great clinical results no matter who you saw. And so that's another reason I wanted to share that story, because Dr. James has done a great job with Pat, but I think we both would agree, who's done all the work?
Me?
You. So, exactly. We're just the messengers that bring forth the tour guide, if you will.
Yeah.
We know where people want to go. We just have to show them how to get there, and then you got to do it.
You give me the knowledge that I need to be able to make the changes in my life to feel better.
Yeah.
And I have felt 100% better already.
So tell us a little bit about where you were at when you started and kind of what you have done off and on over the years prior to us really kind of taking on the Wellness Way model.
Well, I've had a lot of things happen. I've had several. I had open heart surgery, and then I had melanoma cancer on my chin and leg, and I had surgeries for that. And then I started feeling very weak, and I really thought I was dying because it was just continually weakness, and the doctors kept sending me to more and more doctors, like the autoimmune. That's what they thought I had. And I went to an autoimmune doctor, and they said, no, you don't have an autoimmune disease. And then they sent me to another doctor and I wasn't able to. I was so weak, I couldn't even, when I had these spells, I couldn't even walk.
Right. I remember seeing some of those.
Yeah, we had
And
one of those
one
smells
day,
in the office.
One day you had to rescue me from the car right here because I was so weak I couldn't, and you had to feed me something healthy.
Yeah, I remember we cut
To
up
get
some
me
strawberries and got
Yeah.
you back on your feet again.
You know, and so I was pretty scared, and but I was hesitant because of the expense. But I after talking to you guys, I felt like, you know, you were willing to work with me.
Yep.
You know, and it's just not all you know, in consuming financial thing. It's not cheap, but it's worth it. I have found out it is worth every penny. To do the testing is very important. It's given me knowledge to know what I'm allergic to, and getting off of that has made a difference. The biggest thing is in my life that's made a difference is getting off of medication.
Yep.
I am a strong believer in that, and it's not always easy. It takes time with some of them, and you have to monitor things. But I have gotten off of 3 blood pressure medications, which has changed my life totally. I am 100% better, and I've also been able to get off of my acid reflux medicine, which has been a big thing. We all know that medication that we take is not healthy. Even the doctors know that.
Correct.
And so that's been it. It took me a while. You know, I couldn't cold turkey it, but I stuck with it. And now it's a great joy to say that I am off of that medicine.
Wow. And since you've been off of that, what has not happened?
What has not happened since, I don't have.
You haven't had one of those spells.
No.
Like where you thought you were going to just pass out and die.
But I believe it was between those combinations, the blood pressure medicines they had me on, and you know, it's just made a big difference in my life, and I feel like I'm actually living now. And since I've been on this program, I've had arthritis and back problems, and I could not even cook in my kitchen or wash dishes in my kitchen because my back hurt so bad. I had to hire somebody to clean my house. I still do that, but I can cook all day now, and my back doesn't hurt anymore. It's still there, but the inflammation is away from it where it doesn't hurt me to do that. And that's a great joy to be able to feel like you're good, feel good enough to do things, you know. And
what's been some of the biggest things that you've seen?
She mentioned getting off the proton pump inhibitor, the acid blocker. That was kind of a learning experience for both of us.
Yeah.
She listened to me. She tried going off cold turkey, and it's like it wasn't working. So it's like
3 weeks.
We're going to stare stuff down. And I think we were getting a message for almost every other day at that point. That was okay because that's what you needed. But
right.
So again, that was kind of a learning curve, and that sometimes we can't just cut those things you've been on for a long time.
Right.
Be serious
And
down.
I have, and most people have. They've been on it for a long time, and but I'm here to say that you can do it. And I even had a doctor who's got acid reflux, and she said, "I don't know how you can do that." I did. You know.
Maybe
so
this is
this is living proof, you know, and that's why I wanted, you know, was glad to do this video with Dr. James and Dr. Maxwell, because I want people to know that it can change your life.
You said it when we were ahead of time, kind of prepping what we were going to talk about. I like the way you put it. You used the word hope.
Oh, yes.
So like when you talk to your friends and they watch what you've done and you see what they're doing, the lifestyle things that they're doing, you mentioned that the one thing you really wanted them to see was that there was a place that offered hope.
Right. There is hope for people, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't want to change. They are so into, and of course I was too, you know. And the proof is in the doing, you know. And so I took the leap and decided to spend the money to do the things and so that I could feel better. And
I'm gonna ask this for Dr. James, and I want everyone watching to understand, because there's so many great aspects of this case. Because one thing I think we've been very good at trying to be transparent about is that this is not easy, it's not cheap, and it's gonna be tough. You know, there's hard things as a clinician to deal with when you're working with a client, and there's hard things for a client to deal with. So from a symptomatology standpoint, maybe speak to you know, what you went through with Pat in regard to just a lot of the different symptoms, but from a Wellness Way approach, how do we play those symptoms and versus looking at a lab? so the patients realize like,
See, that's one of the things that, again, we had a lot of conversations going back to, we're working on these different labs, cause you'd come in, you'd have something going on over here, different ache or pain pop up that was more of a symptom. But then we'd be focused on the lab work supporting the body based off of those labs. And that's what a lot of visits entailed, was we're going back to either a stress response that we need to decrease those pathways, or again, whether it was getting back in from an adjustment. And so again, I know you've been enjoying the Saturdays in Fayette, Dr. Jeremy's there.
And it wasn't just the food allergies, it was the, there's other testing that can help you.
Is it okay if I say just what tests we've done?
Sure.
We've done cardiometabolic panel on you, and then I think you had watched one of Dr. Patrick's lives, and then you were like, I need to know if I can fast or not. And so you wanted that Dutch test.
Yep.
Yes, I did the Dutch test, and all of them have been helpful in discovering what I need to be healthy.
They have.
And
because again, the Dutch test, a lot of things that we were concerned about actually came back that you had good pathways, but that's when we found your kind of a different stress response that we needed to take care of.
Yeah, a high stress response. The other thing I want to speak on Pat's case, and many of you, is, you know, the question of, well, I thought fruit was good for me.
Yes, that was one too.
Or
And
I
I
thought this
did.
vegetable, you know, and so again, as we're wearing the Think Differently today on Thursdays, there is a different perspective. You know, it's not fruit is bad.
right.
Okay, we're gonna just go, well, let's get tested and see, number one, are you allergic to it? And number two, because we did the cardiometabolic based on some history, we knew we needed to find out what was up with her liver. Was there any factors that would show a fatty liver?
Liver and supporting sugar regulation was a big key.
Yeah, and so as we're trying to prepare Pat for a proper detoxification month, we needed to know where was your ability to handle sugar and to regulate fructose. And if you've got, you know, some early fatty liver signs and you've got things that show that's what's going on, we have to eliminate as much fructose as possible
Right.
because your liver can't handle that. And so but Pat said, but it's in the book that I can have this. And I said, well, the book is very specific but general for everybody. And so again, we're always doing our best to tailor, again, based on what the labs are showing, how we're gonna, you know, make that happen for
Right.
you. And so it's always a learning process. And the other thing I want to speak to, you know, Pat's success, because it's been her. Like literally Doc has been a good tour guide and walking her through that. We consult together literally on probably 90% of our cases and other doctors within the Wellness Way. But in regards to Pat and all of the other ones who have shown to be the most successful, they're always prepared and they engage in as much of the stuff that we put out there. So I know they watch the videos because I listen to the questions they bring. So if you're not asking questions, just as we talk about in our own personal growth, you're not growing as an individual. Because when you begin to reflect on your health and you begin to reflect on you personally, you should be asking questions. You know, do I like where I'm at? I think where before you started, you were kind of like, this is ridiculous. Like I've got cancer, they've had to cut off my chin. I'm on all these medications. I'm feeling like I'm gonna pass out 2 or 3 times a week.
I thought I was
You've
dying,
been
actually.
yo-yo, you know, dieting up until then. I mean, I've seen you in my practice lose 50 pounds before and then it come back and maybe then some. And here now, you've got a full package of tools and a army of people that, you know, you can find support within the Wellness Way to help you on that journey. And you've, again, like since you started with us, how much weight have you dropped?
I've lost 50 pounds.
50
for this
pounds.
one. I did want to say though that with your testing, for instance, I was found I was allergic to green tea and flaxseed, both of which are considered healthy,
Absolutely.
you know, and so that's why it's important to be tested, because you might have allergies that you think are good things to eat, which I did. I drank green tea and thought that was perfectly good. I thought I was doing something healthy for myself, but ended up showed that it wasn't. And so I think that's very important to be tested.
Absolutely.
Do you have any questions for or any new insight that we can share with people just to kind of change the way they view health and the perspective of the wellness way?
What's been your favorite part as far as the interaction, or just out? It's not so much in our consults, but outside. I know you've joined the Women's Wellness Way Women's Group, correct?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, no, I thought that must be somebody else.
So if you haven't already,
Yeah,
Women.
I'm going to.
Yes.
there's a Women's Wellness Way group, I believe, on Facebook that you can join. We definitely recommend, being a part of what we call the Wellness Way Challenge group.
Absolutely.
Used to be the No Sugar January group. So we're trying to have some new things each month to encourage and get people to engage. I mean, this group is now, I think, close to 5,000 people across the United States that encompass Wellness Way clients from all the offices across the United States and overseas to just people who are searching and asking questions about the Wellness Way. And I think this leads to, what I'm going to talk about this evening on Think Differently Thursday is, are you just trying to experience things and gain wisdom? Or would you like to just get wisdom? Because experiencing things doesn't always give you wisdom. Because there's a lot of things each of us can think back and go, oof, I wish I had never experienced that, and maybe listened to some wisdom that was given to you, and then just take advantage of that. Or in other words, I put it as, are you reacting to where you're at with your health now, or what are you doing to prepare to maximize your body's ability to do what it's already been designed to do? And so most of us have been programmed to just react, to respond to, I'm sick, so now I've got to either go take a drug, go get a shot, go take a natural supplement. I mean, all of the things are still wrong thinking. And so these are ways we get people to prepare.
Absolutely.
Or seek wisdom and ask those questions, and that's the opportunity that you have coming to so many events. And so I'll speak on that a little bit more tonight, so be sure to watch when we go live again, probably around 4:30 or so. But
so I know I've taken a lot of foods away from you, including foods that weren't on our food list.
Right.
So what's been your favorite thing that you've tried, or what's kind of thing that you didn't eat before that you eat now? Because I don't know this answer, by the way.
It's not that I'm eating things that I didn't really before, except, I'm allergic to milk, so I got off of milk products, but there are a lot of good products out there that you can have. And the best thing that's helped me so far is recipes. And now that I feel like
she's been my biggest contributor for Sundays, by the way.
there we go. Yeah. If you don't ask, you don't receive.
Yeah. But recipes help so much to feel like you're not in a rut and just eating plain old chicken or plain old everything, and making things taste good. And I have never been one to use spices, but now I do. I found recipes, and it's just amazing things that I never would have tried before, that I tried spices, and I think, wow, this is great. And that helps a lot to keep searching for things that can improve your life, and what you eat. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, what's your next? Obviously, we got detox coming up after a couple things on your plate.
Right.
So, knowing where you're at right now, how has that changed your view of kind of the future? Obviously grandkids, and already having an open heart surgery, having some cancer stuff cut off. Do you feel like you live in a more confident state of
Definitely.
where your health's going versus where you were at, maybe in a more fearful state?
Yes, I mean, back this summer, I really did. I was going to every doctor and there is, and they couldn't find out anything. And of course, doctors, I'm sorry, but they always just want to give you a pill and go home, you know. And I just feel like I have, like I said, just being able to do things I never could before, and I, like you said, I have hope now, and like I told Dr. James when he told me about the detox, I looked at him, I said, well, I can do anything for 30 days, you know. And another thing is some of their vitamins, their liquid
It tastes great,
supplements.
don't they?
But I want you to know, I take them, and if I can take them, anybody,
That's right.
anybody can. And but it's worth it. That's the bottom line. It's all worth it, you know, to feel better, and the support that I have here, and even the ladies up front. I enjoyed visiting with all them too, you know, and they're all a great support for me.
Yeah, we're very, very blessed here with just who we have. You know, the Lord's
Yeah,
brought a great
yes.
team of people together. Obviously, we've had some things change over since the end of the year. So if you haven't come in yet and met Patty and you haven't met Annie yet, you know, please come in. Two wonderful ladies that have been a part of our family now, as if they've just been here forever. You know, so it's a great bond that we have. It's a great family atmosphere, and it's a win-win for people. And I know I just want to applaud you for, again, your effort. You know, I mean, again, the people that win in this environment, they get engaged, and
Not me, Doc. Not me.
not marriage-wise. They engage in the culture.
They connect with the culture.
Okay,
They
that's
connect
better.
with the culture. And they take charge, you know. I mean, again, you ask questions, and so, you know, we probably, you know, get overloaded sometimes with questions from a
Yeah,
lot of people.
I'm
but
sure,
you know what?
I'm sure he got frustrated sometimes with me because I'd always be texting him about this or that or everything. I have lots of questions.
But at least we know people are engaged and they care about what they're doing. You know, when it's like a ghost town and we don't hear from people, it's like, what are you doing? Like, we don't even know what's going on. You know, even when we set up follow-up care. So it's just important, you know, we will make that tour, you know, for you, and we'll know where that, you know, I don't want to say ending point, but the look ahead as to what that road looks like. You know, we'll prepare that for you.
Well, I'd like to say one more thing that I want people to realize is that they don't want you to be on their supplements and all these things the rest of your life.
Correct.
They are trying to get you healthy where, you know, where you don't have to take all these things. And that gave me a lot of hope, because it was like, okay, am I just switching from their medicine to your medicine, like, you know? But it gave me a lot of hope when he said, no, my goal is to get you off these things too,
Yep.
you know? And so that was a big encouragement.
Let's see, Dorothy says a great I disagree story.
Yes. Yeah, we will definitely get her with her picture holding, I disagree that I have to live on medicine the rest of my life.
Amen.
So anybody else have any other comments? I couldn't get it.
Amber says, hey.
Yeah. Old faithful
And that's-
Amber.
And that's all that's anybody's. Amy
All right.
shared the video already.
Super. So, yeah, if you guys have any questions about the Wellness Way Columbia, I encourage you guys to join us on a regular basis every month to our Wellness Way Approach to Inflammation. I think you've got one next Tuesday.
It's either next Tuesday
The
or the following
17th,
Tuesday.
yeah, 2 weeks. So the 17th, I'm doing a cholesterol talk at the office at the end of the month, so if you
The
have some.
31st.
31st, okay, yep, so. All of it's on Facebook, all of it's on Eventbrite, no excuses. You have every opportunity to engage and prepare and seek wisdom, so. More on that this evening, so appreciate you guys hopping on, and like and share this, because I guarantee you, there's somebody that needed to hear that story today, and I guarantee you more than 50% of the people that are on the proton pump inhibitors or acid blockers out there need to know they're absolutely crushing their health and their digestion by taking them, and it's possible to figure out how to get rid of that.
That's right.
So Pat's a testimony to that. So thanks again for coming on, and we'll see you guys on another day.